All right, guys, let's get into a technical analysis for Bitcoin right here, okay? So first of all, talking about my position that I'm in. And by the way, how are you guys doing? It's been a really long time since I've made a technical analysis video for Bitcoin. But to be quite honest, I haven't cared much for Bitcoin right now because I believe that we're going to be in a bearish market for a while. This bounce was very much so expected. I don't see it getting higher than 8K, but we'll see. So it's now May the 31st, wrapping up the end of the month. It has been an incredibly interesting month. It's about 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, actually almost 10 a.m. I'm in a position right now for IOTA. It's my second trade for the day. It's going pretty well so far. Okay, my stop loss is pretty tight at around 160, that's 177-ish. And I'm going to be targeting the bottom of this channel for a really good risk to reward ratio of about 2.3, which is about a 3.65% gain that I plan to make today. Now, if I make that gain, if I close it around the 170 cent range, that's 4% up on each 1,000 coins. So yeah, we'd be talking about, or sorry, on each coin 4 cents up. So I'd be up about $400. It's going to be a pretty, excuse me, there hiccups, decent profit. So let's take a look at where the market is trending right now. $330 billion, guys. It's been it's been a very few slow days, but honestly, this bounce around the 7,000 range was very much so expected. Okay, and we're gonna summarize a lot of the different plays that I've been talking about for the past few technical analysis that I've been doing for Bitcoin. We see a lot of coins trend in the green today, obviously. Cardano and IOTA almost reaching double digits, which is really not that surprising that IOTA is going to reach double digits. Binance coin as well, doing very well. Yeah, Golem actually is. Yeah, Golem got on my radar a while ago. Yeah, I'm gonna be looking into that coin. Gola, Theta, DTA, coins like that. Yeah, so 24-hour volume, we're still trending pretty low. It started to pick up a little bit, right? But we're still trending anywhere between the 5 billion to like the 6 billion range at the highest. So there's not really a lot of market sentiment to drive up the price right now. And we're going to recap May a little bit. Like here's May 3rd, $10 billion finally that we reached, okay? I'm going to be keeping an eye on IOTA as well during this technical analysis because I am in a trade right now. So if you guys take a look at the month of May, I mean, May has been a deplorable month, right? It's kind of like right over here for March, right? The beginning of March, we just ended up downtrending. Then April was a very bullish month, right? April was an incredibly bullish month where we ended up going upwards over 30 days for about 50%. And then, of course, May is going to be a very bearish month. So I would imagine that maybe June it's going to be a slightly bullish month and we'll go up from there and see some higher highs for now. So let's talk about technical indicators first of all, okay? Just to see where we're trending. What we're seeing is a normal bounce, okay? We see a bounce right off of this support line, roughly around there, right? If you guys look on the daily, we're trending to the zone where a bounce is very likely to happen in this vicinity. And Bitcoin doesn't really get lower than these kind of RSI ranges, right? So yeah, there's a chance for us to trend much lower, but there's a much higher chance for us to trend higher. So I want to talk about trend lines as well, right? If you guys take a look at this trend line that's been established for a pretty long time now, since November, right? Since November 11, 12-ish here. Yeah, it was very obvious there was going to be a bounce off of here. And I want to replay this in a little bit more detail for you guys actually from here. So this is the last time that I was making a TA video for Bitcoin, roughly, right? What I was saying was to make note of these two specific regions, okay? Basically this region was one of them was down there, and the second region was down over here, which I'll make it a different color. I'll make this one like yellow, okay? So if it went above here and it broke above like the 7620 ranges, it would have been a really good place to go high, right? A very good place to go high, or sorry, to go long. If it broke down, I was recommending to add 25% to your position around there, right? And then if it broke the 7260 range, that's where you would add the majority of your position there. And if you actually took up that trade of mine, you would have actually made some pretty good bank. So you would have averaged it out to something like around right here is where your position would have been, and you would have targeted a simple ratio over here, right? A simple 3 to 1, about 3.45 to 1, targeting the trend line around $7,000. That would have been a very good place to have entered a trade. But right now, guys, like it was very obvious, honestly, that it was going to bounce off of here. You guys always got to take the chances, okay? You always got to take the chance no matter what. I'm just going to show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? So what I always recommend to people is to take a chance when you're reaching very key support points, right? Target anywhere between the 236 to a 382, just a dead cat bounce kind of level. And if you guys had entered, if you had caught near this trend line, right, you would have allocated stop, swing low, 1 to 2% loss there. You could have even targeted still. There's no reason for you guys to even exit the trade yet if you had entered here. You could have targeted anywhere up to there, in my opinion, right? But this looks like you have to keep in mind as well. It does look like it's trying very hard to break this particular region, and that there's an ascending triangle that's forming with very valid points is already forming, okay? Now these regions there, it could be a bull trapped region. Let's just say, okay, it all depends on perspective we have to keep in mind, right? Let me give you guys a little tip on perspective. So if you actually put your trend lines right around here, say on a let's just go to a 30-minute chart here. So around here, we see it not broken above there, right? Not broken at all. But let's say you go to a 2-hour chart now all of a sudden, and you allocated some of these bull trap regions, right? So would this actually be considered broken above it already? Now we broke above it. Now we're rejecting to come to the downside. So lots of perspectives to see, right? The way I'm seeing it is kind of like that, to be quite honest, like right around this range. Just take the average of both of them. All right. So here's a simple play, right? If this is making some sort of channel going up, let's just assume that this could be making some sort of channel or leading first wave diagonal. Then there's a clear chance that we could be hitting some nice targets right now, okay? If this was making a channel for the actual first wave, okay, where that's always 1, that's 2, there's going to be a third wave, it's fourth wave, and fifth wave. So in my opinion, this is going to be a very valid zone right here to be entering along if it breaks above there, right? Still same key numbers, anywhere between 7650 or 7600 to 7650. I might be tempted to go into a long position here because the long setup just makes sense. Entering around, a clear breakout, laddering it accordingly, setting your stop loss slightly below this resistance that's now acting as a support, and perhaps targeting a minimum of about here. I'm guessing about 78.42 range over here, okay? 78.42, or even targeting a little bit more aggressively this region right there, okay? And now this only taking the Fibonacci range of here, right? It's only taking the Fib range of this specific wave because we have to consider many things right now, okay? Let's just talk about some counts that we can go through. If this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 count, there's an ABC that has simply finished up there already, and this could be very much so the bottom if we are talking about an ABC count, right? That's making an ABC up there. And this has made a very, very wild 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to have to guess it subdivides somewhere like there. Okay. Something like that. And now this could be very much so the beginning of an impulse wave, making the leading first wave diagonal. Okay. Something like that, right? So it's got to be very careful, first of all, right? I mean, a very viable target now is somewhere up to 77, 7,800 as a first short-term target. So if this is the bullish view, then this could very much so be the first wave, making a leading first wave diagonal, right? So, an entry point could be somewhere on the break, right? So 2 possible entry points, in my opinion, right? 2 entry points. First entry point is a break above 7,000, break above 7,600 and 650 range. So that's the first entry point, in my opinion. And the second entry point is if we actually end up breaking downwards somewhere in here as the second entry point, if we actually retrace. So that's a really good point as well, in my opinion. That's where I'll be looking at it. I'm probably going to close my IOTA position. I don't feel it. I feel like it's getting a little bit of bullish momentum right now going upwards. Yeah, doesn't really want to, the 1 hour chart doesn't really want to cross over yet, and the 45-minute either. So I'm just having a little bit of trouble right now managing this position because I want to get this T out of the way as well for you guys. Yeah, it's making some weird formations right now. Price action is a little bit odd as well. So I'm not really sure about this IOTA position anymore. It might be my first loss in like 4 days. We'll see how it goes though. I see the volume just kind of waning off, so I'm just gonna kind of wait around. So yeah, that's kind of how I see it right now. Where a possible, like, I don't really know exactly how high this could go, but I'm guessing like a first viable target is 382. Like, you know, that's gonna be the first viable target in my opinion. I'm gonna delete some of this off just to clear it up. Right. So it's not really that big of a target here. I don't really know exactly where it could get up to, but I'm thinking a decent position would be around 7,800. That's assuming that we do end up getting bullish, and this could possibly make a leading first wave diagonal, right? But that's kind of on the high side as well, okay? So I'm gonna disregard this right here. Actually, this one is a good one to draw for now, okay? Keep an eye on a break. Right here. Keep an eye on this ascending triangle break one way or the other. Okay? You guys see that right there, right? Make sure you're keeping an eye on that. That's my point to keep an eye on. So this ascending triangle could very well break the other way. Could break up, could break down. You never know, right? If it breaks down, these are the ranges that we want to be laddering. I believe that it could hit roughly, just roughly, I'm just going to say it's going to graze roughly, you know, like this is a tiny gain. I'm going to actually make that a lot more detailed on a smaller time frame. Okay, guys? I'll do this like that. I'm just going to put this in my Steemit very quickly so you guys have access to these charts as well. Whoops, I deleted it by accident. Sorry about that. Just 1 second here. It takes a lot of work to make these TA videos because I gotta like edit and stuff all the time, right? So now if we break down, right, I still believe that there's a good chance if we hold above here. If we hold above 7,245 range, golden pocket, good chance to hit targets above. Okay, so of course the one target above is to break out of here and we buy on the breakout, right, where we can hit one of these targets. Like I'd say at least a minimum of like that for a good day trading opportunity. But if we actually end up retracing downwards, then that's okay as well. We can probably end up buying in one of these positions. I'll probably set my stop loss slightly lower than there. Okay, so this is kind of my 2 plays right now that I've got in mind. I think there's a good chance. Second entry point range. Yeah, that's a really good entry point in my opinion. I'm going to take the screenshot for everybody. Yeah, this is a good target. Just going for the 0.5 Fibonacci level. So I think that's a very reasonable target. And then we got the bear side as well, right? So let's look at the bears count as well, where like if this were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we got our 5 waves coming down, right? We can simply just get points of failures. So if this ascending triangle ends up retracing really heavily, right? Like this could be a bad setup. I mean, if we break below this low, okay, I'm just gonna say right now that if actually I'm gonna clear all this up. I'm gonna get this on a bigger time frame. Right here. And now let's go to a lower time frame. Trend line established since November 11. Support established since November 11 actually. Since November 2011-ish. Or sorry, November 11, 2017. Okay. Now where are we going to be considered fairly bearish? Okay. If we break below, I'm guessing like the 78.6 region. If we get to a very bearish level, I'm retracing around here. If we get to a bearish level, $76 fib, which is also near the major trend line support. If we break the 7,040 range, 7,042 range, we'll certainly test 6,500 range again. Okay, so I just want to make this note very, very clear to you guys that if we get to this bearish view right here, and we simply trend back down to 7,042, which is below the 78.6 fib region, it's going to be pretty scary, guys. So right now, there's a good chance for us to break above, right? So you guys got to make sure that you're acknowledging this key support right here, right? Which is basically resistance between where we are now and 76.50. If we break above 76.50, there's a good chance, guys, that we could easily hit one of these fib levels. Okay, like one of these fib levels right around the 7,800 region. So it's a very short-term day trade opportunity. And we're talking about like a 3% gain, which I'm all over because you guys know how I feel about scalping, right? 3% gains to me is basically my bread and my butter there. So there's a lot of opportunity in my opinion. So yeah. So keep that in mind. But if we break down from right here, right, the good entry point is you got to take the risk, guys. Otherwise, there's no reward. You know, you got to take that risk sometimes. There's no guaranteed chance of us winning. But if we just keep sticking to our risk to reward setups there, and we focus on high probability trades over time, like let's say that you keep taking these trades that have like a 50 to 70% probability of being successful, even if they were a risk to reward of like 2 to 1 or even 1 to 1 over time, there's no doubt that you'll be profitable. What I really recommend that you guys do is keep track, guys. Keep track of literally every single one of your trades, okay? Every single one of your trades, write it on paper, keep a good statistic of it. Make sure you're going over your win expectancy formulas, making sure you're going over your position sizing every single trade as well, and go from there. So that's kind of my thoughts. I wanted to keep this Bitcoin video fairly short. You know, this is a lot shorter to most people than my other videos, right? Usually my other videos are like 20-30 minutes long. So I apologize for just not really doing too many technical analysis videos. I've more so been just day trading for you guys and just trying to make those kind of videos. So other than that, have yourselves a great day. Thank you for watching my video, guys. Take it easy.